You know what's hard to keep alive? Chameleons. You know what's also hard to keep alive? Plants. And if you're keeping a chameleon, odds are you're also keeping live plants. So today I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks for keeping plants alive inside of a chameleon enclosure. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Not all plants are created equally. And what I mean by that is not all plants are suited for a chameleon enclosure. So it's important that you choose your plants wisely. Not only what plants are you putting inside of your enclosure, but where are you putting them in your enclosure. So you first off want to make sure that your plants are safe for your chameleon, because there are some chameleon species like veileds that have a tendency to munch on those plants. So we want to make sure that they're not toxic. And if you have any questions on what plants are safe to use for a chameleon, I have an entire playlist just on plant videos where I have multiple videos going through what I've used for my chameleons without any issues. So once you figure out which ones are safe, then you need to pick which ones are going to do well inside of a chameleon enclosure. So we have a couple of things to keep in mind. We have high light and low light, heat, no heat, water, less water, right? So when we're looking up these plants, what I do is search the plant species and look up if it's a plant that does well in low light. And those are the ones I tend to prefer, especially for the bottom half of my enclosure, because yes, you have your plant light and your UVB bulb and all of that up high, but it's a 4-foot tall enclosure. So by the time you reach the bottom, there's not a whole lot of light left for your plant to thrive. So be very strategic and thoughtful. My personal favorite for the plant that goes up high is the pothos. I find that those are very durable. They do well around the heat bulb. You might lose a leaf or two, but generally speaking, they do well up there. They can handle the high UVB and everything else. And they will vine downwards, giving your chameleon lots of coverage and things to climb on. So those are my personal favorite up there. Then what I've been really enjoying lately for the bottom of the enclosure towards the middle are dracaenas. Those are good filler plants. They're not super climbable, but they will provide coverage and fill up the spaces for your chameleon. And then the bottom part of the enclosure, I've been really enjoying having monsteras. There's a variety of different monstera species that you can use for a chameleon, but those have been really great because they have big pots, typically if you get a big one, which will help catch the water. And so that's partially, helping with your drainage, but also will grow up and provide nice big coverage leaves for your chameleon to drink off, hide in, whatever it is that they need to do. And if you're looking for places that you can buy your plants from, I've been getting mine, like pretty much all of Venus's are from the Bio Dude. Code Neptune10 saves you 10% off your order. And they ship everywhere in the US, excluding California because they have agricultural laws. But that's been a great place and resource for me. And then I'll also get them from like my local Home Depot and Lowe's. And just make sure you're properly washing, replanting your plants, and I have a video all about that. So once you have your plants in your enclosure, they've been washed, everything's good to go, how do you make sure that they thrive? So my biggest tip is to use the plant LED light. So you have your long skinny UVB bulb, and then you'll see all of my enclosures also have another long skinny bulb, and that's because that's the plant LED light. The only benefit that this light provides is making the whole enclosure brighter, which is nice, right? Because you can actually see more, but also it's for the plants. This does not serve any specific benefit to your chameleon itself, but healthy plants equal a healthy chameleon. So this plant LED will be on for 12 hours and off for 12 hours, just like your UVB bulbs. I put them on the same timer, but I've seen huge improvement in using a plant LED bar. Like my plants are actually growing versus just barely staying alive. There's two that I've been using for my chameleon enclosures. Both Neptune and Luna have the Arcadia Jungle Dawn LED bar. I have that linked on my Amazon store. It comes in a variety of sizes. Pick the one that works best for your enclosure size. In Venus's enclosure, I have the plant LED light from Vivarium Electronics. That's the 24-inch that runs right to left, left to right, whichever direction you guys are facing, side to side, go with that. And that's been really great. And that comes in the advanced kit by Neptune the Chameleon that's available for purchase on the Pangea Reptile website. But if you're just looking to upgrade and just to get the plant LED light, that's available. You can use code Neptune10 to get 10% off your order. The other tip I have for you guys is to water the plants individually. Yes, we have misters, but what I have found is that the misters really only get the plants at the top, and they only get like the top of the soil. They're not really soaking, watering the plants, and every plant's gonna have slightly different water requirements, so that's something you should research as well as you're deciding what plants to put inside your chameleon enclosure, but about once a week, once every like week and a half or so, I go around with my bucket of water, filtered water, and I will water all of my plants to make sure that they're having a chance to be fully drained. Because I'll notice some of them will just totally dry out, which some plant species do need to dry out before being watered again, but if they stay dry, they're not gonna make it. So it's a good idea to water the plants individually as needed as the plant species requires. What you can also do is strategically place your dripper on the top of the enclosure so it drips directly into a plant, so then you can water the plant that way. And then the last tip I have, if the plant's really struggling, it comes in handy if you do the double pot method, where you will take one pot of the exact same size of the pot that your plant is in so they can fit into each other, and you will attach the empty pot to the branch, and then you will have the potted plant that you can then pop into the pot that's attached to the branch. So then if the plant is struggling, or maybe it's not doing well with all the light or too little water, whatever the case may be, then you can take that plant out, let it recover a little bit, swap it for something else. Or if you have a chameleon that has a tendency to eat plants, you could also do this, so then you can replace the plants, give them a chance to recover before your chameleon totally takes it down. So there you guys have it. Those are some tips that I've used to keep my plants alive and thriving inside my chameleon enclosure. But we'd love to hear from you guys. What are some tips you have for keeping plants alive? What are your favorite plants to use? Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me questions or comments down below. Feel free to subscribe so you don't post a new video. Follow Neptune and all my chameleons on social media at Neptune the Chameleon. As always, all of my discounts, product recommendations, book a video call with me, merch, Patreon, everything is always linked down in the description box below, so please take advantage of that as you see fit. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Third time's the charm. 10. I touched the mic. Fourth time's the charm.